Season 2, Episode 32 starts now. Welcome to the She-Hulk era. I'm your host, Brandon Davis, joined today by Aaron Perrine.
What's going on, guys? I hope you're ready for a lot of Captain America love life talk. Let's go. Let's go.
Somebody can do this all day. We got Jenna Anderson here.
Hey, everybody. I do have to say I almost considered doing a bit where I would eat hot Cheetos and chopsticks on camera when I did the intro, but I don't want hot Cheeto breath for the rest of the show, so I'm gonna not do that. But I'm so happy we are in the She-Hulk era. We're finally here. Oh my God.
We're good energy only for the next 9 weeks. Like, I feel like She-Hulk is fun. We're about to have a lot of fun. And we got Jamie Jurack here.
Hello, good morning. We're in a fun zone. The trauma tour is taking a pause until November.
I just want to say, like, look at how sprightly and rejuvenated Jamie and Aaron look. And with this 1 hour later on the West Coast, it makes all the difference. Maybe this is our new time. We're live on YouTube right now. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the Phase Zero YouTube channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, we're not live, but we still love you. And you should subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Let us know in the comment section, should we do 1 p.m. Eastern time? Should we go like later in the day? Should we go back to noon? We're trying things out. We started at the 12 p.m. Eastern time back when the pandemic was really keeping everybody at home. We were working from home. Now we're in the studio. We're doing all kinds of different stuff, and people are going to work. People are back out of the house. So I'm not really sure if that early morning start time has to be our start time. Looking forward to your thoughts. Anyway, speaking of the She-Hulk era, we're going to let Jenna Anderson really kick off the show here because we got Jenna to She-Hulk. She went out there to the premiere in LA on Monday, did a whole bunch of interviews. They're available on the Phase Zero YouTube channel. If you haven't watched them yet, highly recommend. Jenna, walk us through your day. What was it like?
Oh my gosh. Well, it still does not feel like it really happened. Like every single time I've gone to sleep and woken up, I've been like, that was a real thing that really happened in my life. First off, my day did include going to lunch with Aaron and going to dinner with Jamie. So that was super nice. That was a nice cherry on top of an already awesome day. Yeah, I got to do the purple carpet for the She-Hulk premiere, which is still just so surreal. I did not get to talk to Tat, unfortunately. I had my Savage She-Hulk #1 ready to go to take a photo. She breezed right by because they brought her late to the red carpet, but I was still just happy to be in the same room with her. Mark Ruffalo made eye contact with me as he walked by. I was like, cool, awesome. That is a bucket list thing I didn't even know I needed. But I got to talk to so many amazing people from the cast, people who are working behind the scenes, people who you haven't met yet but are about to be your new favorite characters. And Jamila Jamil complimented my outfit. So many people everyone was just so nice. The energy was so much fun. You can tell the enthusiasm that everybody has for the show, and it was just so amazing to be able to physically be there and be able to ask them questions. I could ask a million questions. I literally told Jessica Gao, the head writer, I was like, I could talk to you for an hour about all of the references and deep cuts and stuff in the show, and she said that she was like, oh, I would talk to you for an hour too. So I'm like, we should definitely try to make that happen on the show because that would be so much fun if that was able to happen. But yeah, it was so surreal. It was so much fun. I'm so I feel so incredibly lucky that I got to do that and that this got to be my first premiere. It was just an incredible experience. I loved it.
I love it. Who was your favorite interview of the making you pick a favorite child?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Josh Sakaar, who plays Pug, who you'll meet next week, is I've loved him since Arrow, and he could not have been the nicest guy. He was so enthusiastic for every single question that I asked, and he complimented comicbook.com. He was like, I read you guys all the time, I love you guys. And so he was just the nicest guy, but every single person that I talked to was just incredible. I loved every single interview that I did.
Nice. Whenever somebody says they read comicbook.com, the first thing I do is apologize. But did you? I hardly write anymore. I shouldn't even make that joke. Our writers are great. But was Kevin Feige out there? Did he have a She-Hulk hat?
He did. He had the little emoji, the Twitter emoji on his hat. But yeah, he did 2 or 3 interviews, and then they just breezed him right by everybody else. It was oh, there he is. Okay, and there he goes. Bye bye. But yeah, he was there. Yeah,
I feel like that guy just has a SpongeBob closet, but instead of the same SquarePants, it's all his different MCU hats. All right, cool. Yep. Well, Jenna, I'm really glad you got to get out there. It sounds like you had a really good time, and everybody, you can go see the good time on our Phase Zero YouTube channel. Her interviews are up there. They're on the site on comicbook.com. Jenna, thank you for waking up super early to go out there and then waking up super early the next day to come home and just get it's a lot of work, but it's fun. It
was so worth it.
I'm glad you got to experience it. Aaron, you're next, right?
Yeah,
I got Black Panther coming up. That was your #1 most anticipated, right?
Yes, because Spider-Verse got knocked to next year, so we're gonna do it. And golly, are we gonna know everything? I had to joke with Jenna yesterday because we got random spoilers or / tip-offs for that yesterday from what was it? Sorry.
Yeah, some sort of board game.
It's always something weirder. It's gonna be something stranger every time, BD. You're gonna walk in one day and your shirt's gonna have like the entire plot of Quantumania on it and be like, BD, how?
Sometimes it'd be like that. All right.
Yep.
All right. One thing I did want to talk about, we're going to talk about She-Hulk spoilers in the second half of the show. If you haven't had a chance to watch She-Hulk yet, we're going to talk about the MCU news first, which some of it is about She-Hulk, but spoiler-free. All the spoilers for the episode 1 will be in the second half of the show. You know how we like to do it here. If you haven't watched yet, you have a chance to spend your afternoon or morning, wherever, or night, if you're over there in the UK, in different parts of the world with us, and then go watch She-Hulk and come back. But I do want to say, She-Hulk is getting review bombed on Metacritic and IMDb, I think it was. And the data shows that it's being review bombed before it came out by men aged 30 and up. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this. We can spend as much time on this as you guys want to. My opinion of this is if you're review bombing stuff that you haven't even seen yet, you're weak, you're pathetic, you're sad, no one likes you, and you should go take a shower. That's really...
There's that. It's so funny. Like these people are so dumb. At least wait till the show comes out to like make it seem real. That's what's so funny about it to me is like nobody can take this seriously because the show hadn't even started yet. Like, these little baby men can't handle anything. Are you kidding me? Like, I tweeted this, but like there are certain male-dominated comic book content things I hate, and you know what I don't do? Review bomb them because I have a million better things to do in my life. God.
You have a job, you have a life.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's just like it's so pathetic. It's honestly laughable. Like I don't know who even cares about those types of scores when we all know that it's just sad men. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a green lady. Ladies aren't green. Come on.
I will say some of the like plot synopsises that they had come up with before the episode had even come out were just amazing. I'm like, whatever you think this show is, there was one that was like, Iron Man dated She-Hulk's boyfriend and she'd killed the entire Marvel universe. And I'm like, you just pitched like the weirdest comic I would totally read if given the opportunity. It's like they all just took some real creative liberties. And I echo everything that Jamie said. It's like, it's kind of sad. It is sad, honestly.
It is. I mean, like, I would say I feel bad for these people, but they're a bunch of dickheads, so I really don't. But like, I wish they'd get a life.
I will also just say the show is aware of those kinds of people. Like, just wait and see. Like, they kind of tackle it in a way that is very delightful. So they're in on the joke, which almost makes it so much better that the internet is still predictably being the internet in this situation.
Yeah. And I see a comment here from All in the Game on YouTube. Unfortunately, I'm more shocked these days when a show / TV with a female or a POC lead isn't review bombed. It's like, it's like at this point, it's just like we just expect this to happen. Like it's happened with so many things before. The show, they're not affecting the show. Guess what? They're honestly calling more attention to the show, making me want to support it even more. So whatever. Mission failed, losers. Anyway, but She-Hulk is super fun. We're going to talk all about it in the second half of the show. Aaron, if you wanted to speak on this, I'll give you an opportunity. Otherwise, we can move on.
I just, it's part, like, I feel like I talk with some of our staff members. I'm like, is this just what it's going to be every time? It's not like Chris Evans back as Captain America, or it's not Fantastic Four, or it's not the mutants, and it feels like it is. So, I look forward to the 100% Rotten Tomatoes we're going to get for Daredevil Born Again. And that's about it.
God, yeah. We can't have women in our superheroes. Anyway. Moving on. Aaron, you got this next one.
In happier news, Mark Ruffalo is back on the red carpets giving us Marvel morsels and then being, disappeared into a black SUV. He's hyping.
I'm telling you, you can see why. If you look at all the things he said on this carpet, they must just be like, Mark, shut.
It's just good to have him back. It feels like 2018, where it's just like anything can come out of his mouth. He'd be like, you know what? I know, there's a third Avengers movie besides Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, and it's just me. And I'd be like, what? I'm playing everybody. Like, I'm like, all right, Mark Ruffalo, I see you. So he told ET it's going to be hard to top Endgame, but I know Kevin and I know Marvel. It's going to be pretty amazing. It's going to be a big bang. We'll go out with a big bang. And last time, like we had something happen like this, everybody died. So when he says we're going out with a big bang, I'm like, Mark, no, we're back to what get what you wish for and all this other fun stuff. We're back in the pre-No Way Home, just combing through like weird little like stuff. What's going on? Yeah.
Put my tinfoil hat on.
Oh, you're putting your tinfoil hat on.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Fill up the water glasses. Let's get the baseball bats out. Let's get crazy. What do you guys think? Like, of course, Secret Wars is going to be bigger than Endgame, but like, how much bigger? He makes it sound like it's going to be even more insane than it already is.
Got it all figured out. Remember the last time Mark Ruffalo started talking about a movie before it came out, and he sat beside Don Cheadle, and he said, "Well, half of everybody dies, half of them." On national television, he spoiled the ending of their biggest movie.
And Cheadle's like,
and she was like, "Oh, dude!" Yeah, well, he just said this ends on a big bang. This is a story about universes colliding, and a whole new universe has to be born out of it. A big bang. Oh, Mark Ruffalo's career is over.
I will just say he also said on the press line, he was like, oh, there's not going to be another Avengers movie without She-Hulk. So like that was the biggest thing where I was like, yes, even if this is not entirely true, thank you, Mark Ruffalo, for saying this. But yeah, I'm going to tinfoil hat the same thing with Secret Wars, because why not? This movie's probably not even really written yet, so we can just guess anything at this point.
That's yeah, I don't think it's written yet either. But also, like, I feel like, D23 is in 3 weeks. Who knows? Maybe that's not even those aren't the first Avengers titles. Maybe we get a Young Avengers series. Like, I'm surprised there's no New Avengers or Young Avengers coming before that, unless they're really just saving the New Avengers for 2027 or whatever years after the double whammy of Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Who knows?
Please don't make us wait that long.
I'm saying,
please.
put Kamala, bring in Sam Alexander, put Kate Bishop, put Yelena. I don't know. Some of them have to go be Thunderbolts. Some of them, the way that people are talking about Hulks and She-Hulk, like a Hulk, as if there's a whole bunch of Hulks out there in the first place. Maybe Amadeus Cho is going to be in here. He's in Spider-Man freshman year. So, all right. Well, that doesn't count though. But anyway, Mark Ruffalo, keep talking, man. You give us content, bro. Thank you. We love it. Thanks, Mark.
I will also say it is funny, like, to peek back behind the curtain a little bit. When you go to the Disney premieres, they give you like a bag to put your phone in so that you can't access your phone when you're physically in the theater. And it's like in the back of my head, I know Mark Ruffalo live streaming the first half hour of Thor Ragnarok is how we got to this point. So it's like, God bless this man.
What a dope! We
love him. We love him for it.
I actually want to jump to it. This is scheduled for later, but I want to bring this up now. So I did an interview with Owen Wilson for his movie called Secret Headquarters, which is available now on Paramount Plus, which we also stream on Paramount Plus. So if you're watching us on Paramount Plus, then go support this other Paramount Plus movie that, Anyway, I asked him about Loki. He said, I said, everybody wants to see you on a jet ski. And he started talking. He was like, well, I think we'll see what happens with that. I get so nervous. I get up. They're very uptight over there. And so, he basically cut himself off. I think he was going to tell me Mobius rides a jet ski, but he didn't. So he cut himself off. And then the director of Secret Headquarters, Ralph Shulman, who was sitting next to him at the time, said, have you been scolded by Marvel? And he said, yeah, multiple times. Yeah. So, wow, Owen Wilson has been scolded. I want to know, like, next time I talk to, whether it's Owen Wilson or Mark Ruffalo or any of these people who we know have said too much at some point or now, I don't know what Owen Wilson said that could have got him in trouble at any point. I want to know what happens. What really happens? You've been scolded by Marvel.
Get fined, right?
But do they though? Do they actually like? I mean, that seems to be the logical right.
I mean,
but I don't.
Rich. I feel like it's like right. It's like why not find them to try to get them? But like, it doesn't matter to them. I'm sure. Like whatever the fine is, I'm like, here you go, Feige. This is your money anyway to begin with. No, it's my money. Who cares?
Yeah, I would love to know what happens, but I imagine it has to just be like they take some money from them. That's probably that's the definition of an NDA right there.
Now I'm just imagining the Big Bang of Secret Wars just being like Mobius riding out on a jet ski in space. And that's just the culmination of the movie. And now I'm like, I want to live in the world where that happens.
Wow. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move on. Move on to the next one. Doing a good job building each other up here, but keep going.
Well, so speaking of D23, a fan asked Don Cheadle for an Armor Wars update, and he said, funny you should ask. So I know everyone was super confused when it got left out of everything at San Diego. It was like, is this show still happening? What is even going on? Are we just going to have Don Cheadle cameo in other things and get Emmy nominations until the end of time? But it seems like we're getting an update. I hope we're getting one at D23. Someone in the Phase Zero Twitter community, I can't remember who, had joked like either Feige or Don Cheadle should walk on stage and just be like, boom, you looking for this? And then just drop like the logo or the release date or something. And now I want that to happen. But yeah, Armor Wars is happening. We might get an update sooner than later. What do y'all think about that?
Man, it still exists. And I think D23 will hear something about it, hopefully.
If Cheeto's thriving, I'm thriving. And that's how I feel about that.
Yep.
I just want to know when in the timeline thing it is, because like I would love to know whether someone just forgot to put it up there, like in the Adobe Illustrator file, they just forgot to put a little tick mark where it's supposed to go, or if it really is that far down the line. Because Falcon Winter Soldier made me think that it was coming out way quicker than some of this stuff. Like Sharon's just out there selling secrets, you know, just hanging out, talking to people, shadowy people on the phone that we don't know who they are. But you know what? She-Hulk is starting to bridge some of the stuff. So I'm happy that we're starting to get some of the stuff bridged together. Maybe we'll know more. Maybe Don Cheadle flies in later in the series. Who knows? Hopefully. He just shows up and he goes, boom. And that's the post-credit scene to the last episode. It's just that. That's it. It's just the logo for it. That's it.
War Machine, fuck!
I don't think that one was up for debate.
Yeah.
We've up for debate. Oh man. Yeah, well, Armor Wars. It's not dead yet. That's their logo. That's their slogan.
Oh gosh. All right. What's next? What's next on the news? There was some Thor Love and Thunder concept art. It was shared by Sun Choi, and it was an early exploration of Omnipotent City, and it featured Juggernaut.
Ooh.
A little X-Men action in there. You know, we saw him over in Deadpool 2. That's a surprising peak. I feel like, personally, that's just like, let's just throw anybody we can in there. I cannot imagine he was ever actually going to be in this movie. But what do you guys think?
It also looks like there's like a Mandalorian in there. If you pull this up, there's a photo on Instagram. I'm going to drop this in the chat on YouTube right now so everybody can look at it if they want to.
That's my thing with Omnipotent City is like I remember we went in and we were like, oh my god, is someone from like the Moon Knight Pantheon going to be in this show? Is like the Panther God going to be in this show? And it's or in the movie? And it's like there were like no cameos in Omnipotent City that like actually connected to other stuff in the universe. So yeah, this looks like Juggernaut, but it also could just be like a character that they just threw in there just to see what this would look like. So
totally a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's not Din Djarin, but that's like Bo-Katan's cousin.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
this is like a Where's Waldo?
It is.
And the Mustafar reference in Doctor Strange, they're just trying to just wean us onto it. They're just trying to like build it very, very slowly. So when Oscar Isaac fights himself in Secret Wars, we're like, oh, what's happening?
You know,
what's going on here?
They even got the lion from Narnia in there. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, definitely a Juggernaut looking character. I always find these things interesting because it's like, well, the concept art is like, I think concept art a lot of times in the early stages is just to like spitball ideas and see what sticks. So in this case, I don't think like Feige or Taika were like, hey, put Juggernaut and a Mandalorian in there. This is kind of like, here's the vague instruction. We need a bunch of gods representing different MCU heroes and characters and factions and groups and all that. So they were just like, let's throw everybody in there and see, and then build from that. That's what seems to have happened in this, in my opinion.
I do want to say the chat is saying that it might be Sidorak, who is like a lord of he's basically who Juggernaut gets his powers from, which like I could totally see that too. But yeah, it's all just like kitchen sink. Let's just throw random people in here just to see what this would potentially even look like.
So we've answered the Juggernaut question now. Which genuine? This is not to sound as I don't know what the word is, but what is the which expert in the comment section is going to tell us who that Mandalorian character is? Like, I'm sure somebody knows. If that's a Marvel character, it's completely gone past me.
Yeah.
But
No way.
somebody might
That's
know.
a
Somebody might know.
Mandalorian.
We have
I
a
don't
very
know.
knowledgeable audience, so hopefully somebody can help it. Anyway, all right, let's keep it moving because we still got to talk about full spoilers for She. Oh.
The
Okay.
comments is now saying it's like Joe Catan or Mo Catan.
I like broke
There's a
it
bunch
in.
of-
Yeah.
If it was in Thor: Love and Thunder, it would be Joe Catan.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep.
So I'm still in awe of everybody knowing this very like random like this like there people who watch our show with the Marvel like encyclopedia just right there, just waiting, like yeah, I got this one. And much more like mainstream Marvel characters. I think Britta, did you talk to Jessica Gao and Kat during the junket? Because I think both of you guys talked to them, right? Like
I didn't talk to Kat, but I talked to Jessica.
Okay,
But yeah,
all
these were from the junket.
These are from the junket, so the BD talked to them. And Jessica Gao talked about, is Daredevil a continuation? Which is a hot topic if you've been on Twitter in our community or outside. There's a lot of, I would say, pre-dread that it's not going to be the exact same Daredevil that we last saw screaming or with his wonderful forearms out telling Happy that he's going to need a lawyer. And Jessica Gao says it's our take and he's on a comedy vacation, which let me tell you, I hope Disney, I need a comedy vacation package at Avengers Campus. I need just the light points of Avengers Campus and Disneyland. That's what I want. And then Kat Coro said it's very planned. So don't get upset. This all seems like very, don't overreact, but the internet is not going to not do that. So I appreciate the attempt, but it sounds like Charlie Cox going to get to flex the range a little bit. And that sounds like fun. As someone who hasn't seen all of the screeners meeting, I am excited to see what happens. What do you guys think about lighter Daredevil?
What was the She-Hulk quote? Something along the lines of like, "Here's to good times in the middle of bad times." That's a paraphrase.
To a good time during a hard time.
Yes, it's like even Daredevil can let his hair down a little bit. Like, I mean, chill out. My whole life's a comedy vacation, but sometimes people really need it.
I think the comedy vacation is a great way to put it, and I have absolutely no problem with them doing that. Like, I think that's really cool. But like, Daredevil can come in here, be lighter, be funnier, not be beating people's faces in and doing all the things he did in the Daredevil series and be funny. But then I want him to go back to serious after this. You have to match the tone of the show. Imagine Daredevil coming in and being so dark and grim and serious in this She-Hulk show. Wait till y'all see the next 3 episodes. They are ridiculous. I mean, like, they're honestly, for me, sometimes too funny. There is a little bit of cringe for me, but I don't care. It's so much fun. It's a comedy, and I'm loving that. Daredevil, as a serious, dark character, could not just be plucked into it. It would just be stupid. So, okay, that's fine. We can have him be funny. We can have him be kind of jokey. As long as we don't kind of cheapen the character, that's fine. We can do that. But also, the only thing I hate more than changing any characters, like, I don't think they're going to change Daredevil. They're just going to show him in this environment, is not telling us if it's canon or not. I'm so tired of this crap. Sony does it all the time. Don't start doing it, Marvel. Please.
I'm almost hoping that they haven't answered that question because it's going to be answered in the show. Like, I'm almost expecting Jen to like break the fourth wall and say one way or the other, which I think would be great. I also just like Charlie Cox is over here collecting Marvel appearances like Infinity Stones at this point. Like, you are going to see this man as Daredevil in so many projects. So like, I would honestly just be like, be happy that you're getting him in so many things and that you're getting this wide like variety of his performance. He can be a little more comedic here, a little more serious here. You're still getting 18 episodes of a solo show for him. So it's like, I'm just happy we're getting Daredevil content to begin with. And it makes sense that it's fitting the tone of the show along the way.
Just tell us if it's the same guy. and the answer to that should be yes.
Every season of Phase Zero, we add one more thing to Brandon's conspiracy board.
Yeah,
Every season.
None of them get answered. Who bought Avengers Tower, Aaron?
There it is.
Who bought it? It's been 80 84 years. I still don't know. That was Spider-Man Homecoming. I got 3 kids now.
Imagine if you just like click on the finale for She-Hulk and it's just all about the legal proceedings of like trading over the ownership of Avengers Tower. Like
I'm begging.
Civil asset forfeiture.
I am begging. Assign Jenna to what is the word? Litigate the sale, to finalize it. That thing. No. If that thing is still in litigation, there is a problem. That was too many years ago in the MCU. I can't even do the math. That was 2016. I don't know, 8 years after the events of the Avengers, but I don't know, then the blip happened and Sony said 8 years and it was not 8 years. I don't know what year it was. It was a long ass time ago and we still don't know.
I hope
It's
that
the
they
spirit of
answer
Halloween.
it, but it's like nothing to do with Marvel. It's like,
Yeah.
this is a Bank of America.
Yo.
Yes.
It's all one big ad placement in the next movie.
Yes, please.
Now I'm all worked up. I'm trying to stay calm. Now my blood pressure's up. Whew. All right. In a minute, we're going to come back to talk full spoilers for She-Hulk Episode 1, in which we did not find out who bought Avengers Tower, but we did find out a whole lot about things we didn't even know we had questions about. We're going to talk about that and more in the second half of the show. We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to Phase Zero, Season 2, Episode 32. It's the She-Hulk era, and we're starting it right now. This is She-Hulk spoilers. If you have not yet watched She-Hulk Episode 1, you're about to have it spoiled for you. I'd love it if you stay, but you're going to have it spoiled for you. All right, we're going to go around with reactions to Episode 1. Jamie, I don't think you've watched all 4 episodes, right? You like to do it one at a time. What'd you think of Episode 1?
Woman of the people.
One of the people.
Yeah.
Yes, Jenna and I are above we are better. We are. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, the truth is I can't figure out the Disney screeners, so
That's fair. You gotta like enter a code and then you gotta sign in a waiver and all. Yeah, you gotta like offer like a drop of blood into your computer.
Yep.
It's crazy. But hey, what'd you think of
first,
this?
Yeah.
I loved it. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. I mean, Tatiana, amazing, just as I knew she would be. Ruffalo, so good to have him back. I don't know, because I've only seen 1 episode, but I have a feeling we're not going to see much more of him. And if we don't, I'd be okay with that, because this was such a great showcase, and it just makes me, but I'm like, give the man a movie. He deserves it. It's time is coming. We didn't see much of her, but just in this episode, Ginger as Nikki, I can tell is gonna be my girl, because she's got Darcy energy, and you know I love that. I can tell I'm gonna love her. It's just, I love the breaking the fourth wall. I mean, it's just, I laughed so much, and obviously nothing delighted me more than the post-credit scene, which we probably will talk about later, but I'll just put a little sprinkle that was obviously my favorite part.
Aaron, what'd you think?
I was excited. I was sitting there like I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I really, really enjoyed the first episode. I am one of the people as well, Jamie. We are in this together. We will be riding this ride together with all of the comment section. And I love how it started. Like, I know that I really loved Miss Marvel, like top to bottom. But it is something really refreshing about jumping in and being like, and we're here. Like, it does not really waste a ton of time trying to get things rolling. I mean, even like her beginning monologue is really like the freaking thesis statement for the show, which I really appreciate. I'm like, oh, we're doing some fun like meta stuff here. Ruffalo is fantastic. I never really, I do like kind of roll my eyes sometimes, but we do all miss like the original Avengers a little bit, and it is always fun to get them back in like in the saddle and a bunch of crazy stuff about the MCU. Like we continue, this is the second straight Disney Plus show where everybody was like, oh, that'll be fun, but nothing will happen. Like 15, like not even 15, like 10 minutes in, there's like major stuff that happens that we'll get to in a little bit that I was like, wait, what? Like, what is happening? This is crazy. So I'm stoked. Tatiana Maslany, cannot wait for you to be in your eventual Avengers movie that Mark Ruffalo says that you're in before Kevin Feige even knows it. It's going to be a good time.
All right, Jenna. Did it live
Oh
up?
boy. So I'm the dork over here who has now watched this episode 4 times. And every single time I love it. Every single time I find new things to love about it. I hadn't even noticed like Hulk's gladiator helmet from Ragnarok until I watched it again this morning. So like there's just so much to unpack, both as a She-Hulk fan and as just a Marvel fan. I think this was the perfect way to introduce Jen Walters and her status quo to everybody, but do it in this way that is like profoundly entertaining. I could watch Tatiana and Mark just banter back and forth for hours. They have like such a wonderful dynamic, and I think it really helps the fact that so much of this episode is like really just constructed in CGI. Like so much of the beach scenes and so much of them both being hulked out is like so entirely CGI, but it still feels so personal and so human. It's so well executed on like an acting and a technical level that it is just like amazing to watch it. And I love the little tag at the end. I love the little bit we got of Titania. I think it's just so perfect. It's so much fun.
If Jenna's happy, I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, I thought that this was my second time watching it today. I only watched it once beforehand. Now I watched it for the second time. I think it's great. I mean, the biggest improvement for me from early on to now is the CGI looks better in this final version than it looked even in the screener version I watched. Maybe that's just the stream quality. I don't know. I thought the CGI looked way better than it looked in the trailers and when I saw it for the first time. And Tatiana Maslany just nails it. She's so good. She's just effortlessly Jen Walters. She-Hulk is a fun character. We got a lot of Hulk. We got a lot of Tony Stark references, more so than I think anything we've gotten since he perished, which makes me sad to think about. And so I love that. Yeah, I just think it's a really good start. I think it breezes through the origin story really nicely, almost kind of the same way Savage Hulk #1 did, Savage She-Hulk #1 did. I like it. I like it, plain and simple. I think it's a lot of fun, and that's what it wants to be.
I have a question for Jenna. How did you feel about the change of how she got her powers?
Yes, so I had this in the notes. So because I did want to like cover this for people who might not be familiar. Her origin story in the show is completely different from how it plays out in the comics. The core parts of it are still roughly the same, but basically in the comics, her dad is the sheriff of like the Los Angeles police, and he has a like crime lord that's going after him and wants to get revenge. And so he decides, oh, hey, I'm gonna like take out a hit on his daughter, Jen, and try to like get revenge on him. And so Bruce and Jen are hanging out, and these mobsters come up and like shoot Jen, and Bruce ends up being really the only person who can save her life by giving her a blood transfusion. And so he's like, I know she's unconscious, and I know I'm going to turn her into a Hulk probably, or maybe even kill her by giving her these powers, but like I need to give her my blood anyway. And so that's wildly different from what we get in the show, but I think this is so much more organic and so much of a cooler way of doing it because it makes it more accidental, which then like strengthens the dynamic that Jen and Bruce have, as opposed to like, oh, hey, Bruce made this decision while Jen was unconscious, and then now they both have to deal with it. So I thought it was a really clever way of like taking the general essence of it and making it like even better.
I liked it too.
Awesome.
I like the speed with which it happened.
Yeah.
That's just like, here, all right, we're moving on. That's it. It happened. Deal with it. A couple of Easter eggs I wanted to point out from the episode. There's one clip which I tweeted earlier today. Sorry if that was a spoiler. I know one person already got mad at me, but like it's really not a spoiler.
Did you use the hashtag?
Happened. I just tweeted it, like a 7-second clip.
Well, next time use the hashtag.
Yeah.
But it's like wait. So it was like the Avengers
fine,
theme
you're fine.
song.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, like a version of the Avengers theme song played really softly, subtly, and that's while she looks at an Iron Man helmet, which was actually the Ultron Mark I helmet from that scene in Ultron where Ultron crashes the party. And then in the background, you can also see the Gladiator Hulk helmet, which somehow made its way back to Earth. So I thought those were cool touches. I love these kind of MCU references, the history being incorporated, and the Avengers theme song, which we just don't really get to hear enough. And Iron Man is still part of the universe.
Poor Bruce. He misses his buddy.
I know.
I miss his buddy too.
I loved that I got to be the one to tell you that there was the Iron Man helmet because like you had missed it the first time around and you're like, wait, what? It's like I was so happy I could bestow on you a Tony Stark reference in this episode.
Yeah. I was taking notes while watching it the first time, and apparently I think I looked down while that clip played, and I was like, I missed that 1 second shot of an Iron Man helmet. And then I watched it today, and go ahead.
No, go. Sorry.
Well, I watched it today, and I was like, oh, they even carved like Tony Stark and Bruce Banner into the little Science Bros for Life.
It was so cute. I was like having like an out loud commentary of like, this is a nice beach house. Oh, this must have belonged to Tony Stark. Oh, an Iron Man helmet. Oh, yes, it definitely was. It's just like, I need to shut up. Poor Tony has to listen to me.
In an interview, they say that he didn't just build the house, like that the whole island is like man-made by Iron Man. And I'm like, the amount of hilarious money, all of them, like poor Sam's just sitting there like, oh man, eating was
He just wants a boat fixed.
Right, I just want to fix my boat. He had a whole island with a freaking gamma lab on the bottom. I'm like, okay, all right. Somebody's got to, that's what's in, Avengers Tower has to be just made out of gold bullion. And maybe they'll melt it down so everybody can have money again.
There is no Avengers Tower. We'll never know about it.
No.
We'll never know. Never know. Savage was mentioned. Jenna, what part there was in the very beginning when they
so Jen gives her little closing argument or like rehearses it, and then she's like talking to Nikki about how she's kind of nervous about it, and Nikki's like, well, if all else fails you can just do your Savage Jen Walters face, and she's like, I don't have a Savage Jen Walters face. And so that was just kind of a nice little nod to the like Savage She-Hulk of it all.
I should have brought my comic. I put it up on display, but next to my TV. I'm going to leave it there for the next 2 months.
Mine's like just behind over there. Yeah, just out of frame.
You know what sucks? You know what really sucks, Jenna?
Mm-hmm.
For people like you and me, we got to wait 4 weeks for a new episode.
I don't mind it because it's like I'm watching it again, just seeing everybody else react to it. Like I am having so much fun just seeing everybody else's reactions. But yeah, at the same time, I'm Thanos over here. Of like, you and I are just cursed with knowledge of the next 3 weeks.
The show feels better to me as a binge, and I'm like anti-binge. But this show specifically feels so good to just watch straight through. It's not like heavy-handed story Moon Knight or even Hawkeye or anything like that. Like I watched these 4 episodes, then I switched back and watched an episode of Moon Knight after watching the first 4 episodes, and I was like, man, She-Hulk was so much more fun. Like I just wanted to keep watching, not because like, oh, I need to know what happens next. I need to know the story. Like I'm genuinely just entertained watching this show. Oh, episode 5 is so far away.
I was kind of like the fact that the show itself ends in October. I'm like, that feels. I'm gonna be planning my Halloween costume and stuff. Like,
we still won't have heard about Werewolf by Night by then.
What's that?
It'll have been released, but somehow no one saw it.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night is just the Avengers Tower of Disney projects. It's like, this is never happening. This is all just fiction in my head, I guess.
I really hope the rest of She-Hulk delivers as much as these first 4 did. I hope that it doesn't fall victim to these kind of weird endings that a lot of the Disney Plus shows have. Please don't flop. Please have a solid ending. Stay true to the rest of the show.
Yeah, I'm confident that it will.
Begging. I don't know how it could go so off the rails, but who knows?
So wait,
all right, what else we got
9?
here?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
When you said October, I was like, wait, what?
9 episodes.
Yeah. This is taking us through.
Deep in Andor. That's why it's Thursdays.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Although now She-Hulk and Harley Quinn are on the same days, and that's its own problem.
But that's the opposite of a problem for you, though. You get 2 very good shows on the same day.
That's fair. And I do have same thing. I have all the Harley Quinn screeners, but I've just been watching them week to week too because it's more fun. I want to savor it. I'm not anti-binge, but what?
When does Harley Quinn start?
It's already 5 episodes deep.
The
sixth episode dropped today. I think it was the 6th.
I'm surprised it got out with HBO Max anyway.
Please watch that show, everyone, so that
Seriously.
it doesn't get
Yeah.
canceled. It is my lifeblood. I need it in my heart and soul, and I will be a sad, sad lady if it gets canceled.
I haven't watched enough of it. I've watched enough to know it's great, but I'm just bad at
Mhm.
keeping up. Bad at keeping up. We got a lot of good TV right now. We got She-Hulk, Harley Quinn is on, as I just learned. House of the Dragon starts on Sunday. That show's crazy. That show is not for kids. But I mean, it's Game of Thrones. All right, the Sakaarian ship showed up in this episode, and Bruce knows that means somebody from Sakaar is looking for him, right? Who could it be? Jenna, who could?
Well, I know the
think,
prevailing theory is Sakaar, who is
Yep.
Bruce's comic accurate son, because the implication here would be that maybe while he was on Sakaar, he got a little busy, not unlike Steve Rogers, and that was the result of it.
Everybody in the MCU is having a little fun, a little extracurriculars, even in space.
Like they do make a point to reference the fact of like, oh, I was stuck as Hulk for 2 years, but that was in space. It's like I feel like they reminded people of that kind of intentionally. So I would not be surprised if that's ultimately what we might be building towards, and that would be super cool if we got to it, because adding another Hulk to the mix, even though Bruce clearly doesn't want that. He like destroyed Jen's blood samples because he was like, I don't want to run the risk of creating another Hulk. And it's like we're gonna go from that to probably having like so many other potential Hulks that could pop up at one point or another, like you said, with like Amadeus Cho and everybody else. So it's just it's going to be really interesting in one way.
And that was like when he first got there, like that was post Ultron, pre Ragnarok. We don't know what happened off screen. We know he wasn't smart yet, so he might have just been out there all willy nilly, creating babies.
You broke Jamie.
Hulk might have broke somebody. Could you imagine? Oh my god.
Also, can I just say, I love that they made fun of the lullaby from Ultron, of just like, I don't have a good explanation for it. I felt so vindicated by that, because that always bothered me in Age of Ultron.
I have so many questions how she survived, but we'll keep going. The Hulk? Don't look at me like I'm crazy. We've all thought about the mechanics of that. We've all thought about it. Don't make me ostracizing me.
You're just digging up everybody's Slack message history right now on camera.
Sun's getting real low. All right, we're moving on. God, we don't have these adult conversations on Phase Zero, guys. Look what She-Hulk has done to us. We need to grow up real fast on here. All right, what else we got to talk about here? Titania versus She-Hulk. That's straight from the comics.
Yes, it is
I feel
from
like
Solo.
I'm just always going to be like, here's a talking point. Jenna, tell us.
That's exactly what I want. That sounds perfect. So there's a story in Solo Avengers number 14 where Jen is in court and Titania literally bursts through the wall and just has beef with her, and they just fight in a courthouse, and it's super ridiculous, super great. And this has the same exact energy. My one qualm is like that scene is so short. Like I feel like we had seen all of that fight in the trailers already. So it's like I'm excited to see more of Titania, because that scene was great. It was just so short in the grand scheme of things.
She came in there like the Kool-Aid man. I was like, she busted here real quick.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to edit that. Actually, can somebody in the channel go ahead and download that clip and then add the sound of the Kool-Aid man going, "Oh yeah!" We can.
I need it.
No, it might be too early for spoilers, as I learned. But I'm sorry, person. All right, one more point here. Two more points here. Jenna pointed this out to me before the show. I missed a couple things. I was too busy writing down notes and missing the more important stuff.
So
I'm not good at my job.
So when Jen wakes up and Bruce explains that she got turned into a Hulk, he also states that he was able to use her blood to heal his arm, which is funny after spending months and months of theorizing every single time we got footage from the show of like, where is this placed in the MCU? Because Hulk's arm isn't injured the way that it was in Shang-Chi and after Endgame. So it's like, is this during the blip? Is this way after the blip? And it's like, now we got our answer, and it was not at all what we were expecting. But I love that line. I love that little implication, because I also just love Jen joking that means she's better than him. So that was just a great little scene.
Hold on.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm like, you good, Brandon? You kind of did.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nailing it.
Perfect.
Titania's the entrance song.
People on the podcast that listening to it like without the visual are gonna be so confused. There was just a long pause and then
I know.
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Titania's
almost
burst
made
into
it
the
better.
office. Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
All right, last talking point is the last scene. All 4 episodes that we saw have post-credit scenes, and I promise you, somehow today's is not even close to the most absurd. They are ridiculous. Each time they will surprise you and get you to pop out with laughter. This one is no exception. It is sharing details of old Stevie Raj, and that man was busy on that USO tour. The tour where a boy became a man.
I'm so happy about this.
What do we even talk about this? Like, we haven't talked about this. Like, what do we even say?
Okay. So I'm gonna try to be as delicate and family friendly as possible. It has been a long-standing debate about whether or not Cap has become a man in his travels, and we do have that moment in Winter Soldier where Nat's like, "Is that your first kiss since 1945?" And
That's a really good impression.
And so we've all debated it, but like I've always thought it was a stupid debate. I mean, he's a grown man, touring the world, and I think that good for him. And it also makes me happy that he has confided in his friends. I love the idea that they're all sitting around telling the story of their first encounter, and because Bruce knew the deets. I just makes me happy. I am a little sad that it took Steve pumping up in serum for him to land a lady.
Oh, he was pumping up.
I walked right into that one. But anyway, I'm delighted. I'm not surprised. And I just love the way that it ended, because one of my favorite buttons is, I've talked about this before, is in Homecoming, the way that Marissa Tomei, when you end your thing on a half bomb of a funny bad word, I'm gonna laugh hard.
I will say, like, when I talked to Jessica at the premiere, she said, like, I was like, what are you most excited to see people respond to? And she was like, the tag at the end of this episode. She was like, if that is my one legacy that I leave on the world, then like that is worth it for me. And it's like, I can totally see why, because every single time I watch this episode, I still cannot believe that they got away with it and that it is as brilliantly constructed of a scene as it is. I agree with Jamie, like cutting it off exactly where it is hilarious. And Tatiana's delivery is just perfect.
Chris in our comments said he went to war a boy and came back a man. Hey, good for you, Steve.
I'm in these shows for the memes in a lot of ways, and people calling him Clapton America is funny as all
my God.
It's
oh my God.
Hysterical. It's so funny. This
That
morning
man
on
loves to wear
Twitter
a
has been
shield.
so funny. Brandon.
I could do this all day.
And like, we
Wow.
do have to acknowledge, Chris Evans has acknowledged the reference. He has tweeted a bunch of emojis and the hashtag She-Hulk, so he knows. I would pay so much money to have watched him watch that scene, because like I can only imagine his reaction. I would love to see it.
Yeah. I imagine it was something like his Free Guy cameo.
Uh-huh.
What the shit? Yeah. All right. Well, what a good note to end today's show on. All right. If anybody has any questions, you can drop them in right now. Maybe before we say our goodbyes, we will see them and answer them. Otherwise, I think we can start making our rounds on closing out the show. Jenna, any parting words on She-Hulk Episode 1, Phase 0, Episode 32 of Season 2?
We are in the She-Hulk era. I'm so happy. This episode is just so amazing, and there's even more amazing stuff in store. I cannot wait to talk about the subsequent episodes because there's just so much fun. Go watch my interviews from the premiere. Go read some She-Hulk comics. It's just a great time. Just have fun.
Clapton America has me dying. Jamie, anything to send us off today?
Oh, I want to repeat what I said earlier, which is watch Harley Quinn. It is on its way to becoming my favorite animated series of all time. Also on that, a similar note, watch A League of Their Own if that's your kind of thing, because it is. If you're a fan of the movie, it's just a wonderful, wonderful, its own thing. It's lovely. And it is also getting some review bombs because of what it is, which is just frustrating and lame. And I deeply, deeply loved it. So those are some of my television recommendations for all of you.
Love it. Aaron?
It's at Some Like Corner on Twitter. And I would just like to piggyback on Jamie's like HBO Max stuff, because a lot, if you follow me, you know I like animation, and a ton of the animation stuff is getting removed this week, so that's not chill. Summer Camp Island, Infinity Train. I don't know how we're supposed to get sort of nuanced animated shows that aren't on like just Netflix or whatever if there's nowhere to watch them. Also, just any physical media. If you love stuff, if you love the stuff that we all consume ad nauseum, you've seen Brandon Davis's hilarious pictures of all of the Infinity Saga stacked up together in order. It's so satisfying. You see Jamie Drax's wonderful, wonderful shelf behind her, and all of the Funko splendor behind Jenna. Go invest in the stuff that you love, so that when someone decides to write them all off, you will have it for yourself.
Happy birthday, Aisha, in the comment section, watching us live on the birthday. We love you for it. We hope you have a great day. And happy, oh my God, I almost just said happy Wednesday to everybody. It is Thursday.
Yeah.
We are now on Thursdays on Phase Zero. We hope you had a great time. Please hit that thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right now, you're on the channel. Do it. And if you're listening to us in podcast form, go find the channel, youtube.com/C/Phase Zero. We love you for it. Hopefully we get some really good guests on here throughout the She-Hulk era. And we're going to have more exclusive interviews with each episode coming. So make sure you're subscribed, because we're going to have fun with it. We're going to get your questions answered, and we do take suggestions. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Brandon Davis BD. Thanks to everybody who helped get Jenna over 4,000 followers this week. We love to see it. And let's keep growing. Let's keep having a good time. And the community tab on Twitter has been a blast. I think maybe we might start dabbling with Facebook groups soon. That's just a lot of work, and I'm not really super familiar with it, but I kind of want to, so we can keep building our community and building an audience that way. But we'll let you know if we do. Goodbye.
Gentlemen of the jury. Oh, yeah!